Severe mental illness like psychosis can lead to a tragedy like this, that people can see things that aren't real and hear things that aren't real and believe things that aren't real and act in the distorted reality. Good evening and welcome to the program Wounds of the Heart, where we are here and ready to help you heal any wound that have been caused emotionally, mentally, and even physically. We are here to help you heal that wound. And I've been your regular host all the time, coming your way with different topics to be treated and how best we'll be able to help people heal from that illness. Today I have my guest is ready, but let me seize this moment to appreciate Slick Afrik for the fabric that they always give me. Slick Afrik, God bless you. Instagram is Slick Afrik, Facebook is Slick Afrik. If you need them, it's 0557 355 852, 0557 355 852, and just call on them when you select the choice of your fabric, and they will just come to your doorsteps. The guy who always put me and my guests on flyer, he's Alpha Art. Alpha Art, God bless you for that tremendous work you always do. Alpha Art on Instagram is Alpha Art _graphics, and on Facebook is Alpha Art. Alpha Art. If you need any flyer, if you need any anything designable, he's ready to help you out. If you want to call him, his number is 0551 404 387, 0551 404 387, and that is for Alpha Art. And as I always say that if you want to help Wounds of the Heart grow to another stage in life, if you want to talk to us, if you can help us get sponsorship for this particular program, the number to call is 0559 535554, 0559 535554. Just call on us and we'll help you. You will talk about it with you and see the way forward. If you want to also engage in today's conversation, we are live on Facebook, Hope TV GH, live on Facebook, YouTube, Hope TV GH, and please just subscribe to our channel and hit the notification button, and you are good to go. You can also share your link on your pages for other people also to also hook up onto. So today, my guest is ready, as I said, and if you want our WhatsApp platform, 0559 680066, 0559 680066. If you want to WhatsApp us, you can do that on number. So I said the ball rolling. This evening, there's this topic that I want us to look at. It is something that I can say it's a border, but people don't know about it, and also it also affects people mentally. Today I have with me, I call him Senior. He has been on my show during the COVID era. You saw him discussing the COVID issue, and with the lesbian issue, he was on point with us, showing also educating us on one or two things. He's Mr. Philip Uforian to me. He's a psychiatric mental health practitioner. So this topic, I think that I had the right person to help us. We are talking about the effect of what we call psychosis. Senior, good evening.
Good evening, Pastor, and good evening to your viewers also, wherever they are.
All right.
And we pray everyone is doing well today.
We once again welcome to the program Wounds of that, and it's been a while since we heard your voice and we saw your face on our show, but we thank God today you have made it a point to join us. God bless you for that. Straight to the point, Senior. What is psychosis? What is psychosis? What is that? What is it?
So psychosis is when there's an alteration in the state of mind, right? So when we look at a personality or a person, our makeup, our being, it's the emotional, cognitive, and behavioral attributes of one. Okay, so when somebody has psychosis, then they will have that altered mental status, where they'll be out of touch in reality. Their perception of reality will be different from the other people. They might have other symptoms involved in it, which includes delirium, delusions, paranoia, hallucinations, and all of that.
So you use the word alteration, which means that there's a disconnection of a vein or something to the mind. Please come down to my level for my viewers to understand. You said when there's an alteration in the mind, But if I compare that to the normal dress we wear, if a dress is being alterated upon, we understand how it is. I don't know how I can compare that one to how you use it. So, alteration in what sense?
Okay, so there's altered perception, altered reality, right? So that alteration is a change in simple terms. There's a change in their reality or their perception of reality.
Okay. Then I think my viewers now can understand. There's a change of reality. So that's why they what we see is not what they see, right? I don't know. Their perception is different from what we do.
Right.
All right. So this psychosis thing, so that is the main. But how common is psychosis? How common is it? How is it common with us? Yes.
So psychosis, we say that one out of 4 has mental health condition, and if you look at the mental health conditions that there is, psychosis is not really one of the most seen ones that we have, right? But the only thing is, especially in our part of the world, and I'm referring to Africa or Ghana in this case, we more of the psychosis when we talk about mental health conditions. But psychosis is not in the ratings, is not one of the highest of the cases we have.
Okay. Then when I was reading, I realized that there's a slight difference between psychosis and schizo. How is the line? How can you distinct it for us, for my viewers to know that when we talk about psychosis is A, when we talk about schizo is B, with examples probably will be okay for my viewers also to understand.
Okay, so let me finish up with why we see more of the psychosis in Africa or in Ghana, and then I'll come to your question.
Okay.
So why we see more of that is that in our part of the world, most of these people are seen as witches.
Okay.
Seen as psychotic. They are seen as crazy, lunatics, mad, right? We attach all these tags to them. For that reason, we do not pay much attention to them. We do not offer them much help. As they end up on the streets and in public places. Therefore, those are the ones that we see more. Okay. So now to the issue of schizophrenia and psychosis. So schizophrenia is a condition, is a mental health illness, right? And part of its symptoms, you could have psychosis.
Okay.
So as part of the symptoms of schizophrenia, you could have psychosis, which would be the altered mental status or the in your perception or your thinking. Okay.
So although they are different, but they have certain things in common with some of the. Okay, so I'm sure that when we get into probably the effect or whatever, we can also draw that beautiful line. And so, Senior, with what you just explained, do we have stages in psychosis? Are there stages in psychosis? Are there forms of psychosis, illness that we need to know? Are there stages in psychosis, if I should ask it that way?
Yeah, so in simple terms, yes, there are stages. So people have different psychotic presentations, right? So somebody will have delirium, somebody will have delusions, somebody will have paranoia. And if you don't mind, I will explain in brief terms what these three mean, right? Okay. So if somebody is having paranoia, that person is having the fear of something happening, or the fear of someone, the fear of something, right? And this is a phobia. So this one has a fear that something is going to happen, and they are so paranoid about that thing happening. So example, I might be very paranoid that the world is coming to an end. Hence, I start giving my things away and then start preparing myself for the end time and all of that. I have that fear that impending doom is happening. Okay, I could have a fear of a building coming down on me. So fear is very intense. Therefore, in a setting, we're all in a room, yet I'm reacting like a building is going to fall, right? So that fear, that paranoia. We also have, and I could be paranoid about you giving me food.
Exactly.
So if
okay.
you say,
Okay.
food, I may not eat it because I'm paranoid that you may put the poison in it.
Okay.
Or you may take my.
Then,
yeah, you may take my
senior,
intellect away,
let me,
anything
senior.
at all, whatever the fear is, right? So that is the paranoia.
Wait, senior, train.
Okay, all right.
So in as much as you are giving us certain things to understand this evening, if somebody is in that state, probably that person might be, he or she is under what we call the psychosis, right? Okay, and that person is the fear of unknown. So if we are with somebody who is behaving weirdly or awkwardly, that the building is coming to collapse on him or her in the same building we are, we need not to brand them as something else. But these people need serious help from the
yes, they do.
Okay. Then senior, please continue for me.
Okay, so yes, they do need help, right? So it's not normal for you to be in a space like that, and then when everybody else is having a normal, good conversation, and all of a sudden you have that paranoia or something happening. Or you are married and then your wife serves you food, right? And due to the psychosis that you have, now you think that your wife is going to poison you. For that reason, there's going to cause problems in the marriage, right? So for that reason, we do need to offer them help. And the question is, how do we offer them help? Then it comes in various forms. One is that we have to reorient them to reality. That is the immediate thing to do. But please don't argue with them. Right? I'm asserting or I'm forcing my belief over yours because that is not going to work. Yes. Because they have that fixed force belief. That fixed part is not easy to just convert over one sentence or no, it's like that. This is what it is. Everybody thinks this way. Why do you think that way? What is wrong with you? That approach is not going to help. It's not going to fix the problem. But then we have to reorient them to reality. Example, if they feel like the wall is going to fall down on them, you can touch the wall, right? If this is the wall, it's still there. You can touch it. You can feel it. You can, if you want to try it. You can also do is move them away from the setting. Because I have that belief that this wall is coming down. The redirection doesn't help. You keeping me in there and still trying to force me to understand is just going to exacerbate the situation. Exactly. Worse. So what you have to do is then move me away from the situation where I will feel like I'm in a safe environment. If I have that paranoia about, pastor serving me food and going to put something in there which will take away my intellectual abilities and all of that, then what pastor have to probably do is serve the food sealed. So if it's a pre-packed food, it has to be sealed. Please do not open it and then bring it to me. Do not take off the seal from the package or anything like that. So having that pre-packed food sometimes help so that they know that it's not been tampered with. Right? That was the paranoia. Okay. So unless you have more questions.
No, it's okay for that. Probably it will come in when we are talking about the signs and symptoms on yeah.
Exactly. And as part of the treatment also, we will talk about the pharmacological. Exactly. So apart from that, then we talk about the delusions, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Sorry?
Yeah, continue please, Senior.
Oh, okay. So the paranoia is the fear of. Then the delusion is a fixed false belief. So let's say I have delusions of being the world famous rapper. Right. So I have the delusions that I'm the world famous preacher and think that I'm better than, all those that have lived. So that is also a psychosis that I may be having. So I have that fixed false belief, and it is entrenched. For that reason, common redirection be like, oh, Philip, please quit it. You can preach. How much quotations do you even know in the Bible? That is not going to fix my problem or not going to suffice in treating with someone with psychosis, which in this case has the delusions, right? So if somebody has the delusions, then in that case, immediate controlled environment is helpful, and medication management is also very helpful.
Okay.
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 Then the delirium is in simple terms confusion.
Confusion.
Right?
Okay.
What is having confusion? So that confusion could be caused by so many things. I had a presentation in Taifa, Burkina, SDHH.
Okay.
Right, when I made a quick 1 week trip to Ghana. So
all right. No.
people feel that I didn't come to say hi.
All right. So don't bring it here.
So during the presentation, I was talking about mental health issues, and I mentioned the fact that some medical conditions can link to or can cause mental health conditions, right? So an example, if somebody has UTI, urinary tract infection, it's easy with the infection for them to have delirium.
Okay.
Which could also present as psychotic symptoms.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
So, and UTI is also very common in the elderly. Hence, times when our grandparents or our mothers who are, and it's also more common in women than men.
Okay.
So, elderly, when they're having these symptoms, people easily associate it with them being a witch or a wizard. Please, it's not the case. So, it could be something as simple as UTI, which could be treated with cranberry juice, and then back to normal, right? Then also medication, increasing fluids and all of that. So treatment could be something very simple, but because of perception and lack of knowledge about the situation, they will just make it escalate and then they suffer more. Delirium also could be caused by medication changes. Okay. Right? Or somebody gets started on a benzodiazepine, which is something like Ativan, stuff like that, or some pain medications, narcotics, right? It could cause them to have delirium. Okay. The other thing is lack of sleep, which is also another very common thing. It alters your perception and your cognition at some point. So if you're going around thinking that you're on top of the world, you really can you are a high achiever, and you stay in the studio and get things done 3 days straight, 4 days straight, please watch out. You're going to crash very soon.
That's a good advice.
Your people are going to start asking you what is wrong with you because now you don't make cognitive cohesion, right? Exactly. So these are some of the things that's lead to psychosis.
All right, so that is a wonderful stages. So the paranoia, the delusion, and the confusion, as you said. But with the delusion, that one is a fixed belief of something, right? As in somebody would say that I'm the most the best preacher or whatever, and things will be happening, and that person will be seeing things in a different way, as in. Thinking that I'm the savior of the world when I preach Christ through me, then I think that some of the preachers, if I wouldn't be, some of the preachers might be in this state, personally in this state as delusion, thinking that they are the best ever, and when they speak, when they preach, they are on top of the game, as you're saying. Probably not the preacher aspect, but in a working environment, that person might be a banker, that might be whatever, but there's this particular person that will be working that always will probably put himself or herself higher upon everybody, thinking that he or she is the guru of the work. When that thing happens, we need not to brand them as they are being self or imposed of like that to no be. But I think that, as you're saying, there are things we need to start comparing to see whether probably they are it's psychosis that is probably wrong with them or something, so that at least the job or where they work will find help. Because as it stands now, I have something that as you are telling me certain things, I'm putting my analysis to it. Whether
Pastor, don't start diagnosing people.
So you see, but it's the education I give you. See, at a point in time, you will feel that okay, what senior is saying. You have been seeing it. You have been having people in that aspect. So when it happens, are they sick of psychosis? Are they having these things you are saying? But hey, I'll take my time on that yet. But so what are some of the symptoms? What are some of the symptoms for us to watch out that when we see these things, that person probably might be sick of psychosis?
Okay, so for us to say that someone is having psychosis, I will not leave it to the layman, right, to diagnose someone.
Exactly.
But what I would say is, if you see any symptom or any behavior which is not congruent with the norm, which is not in conformity with the norm, be concerned. And out of concern, try to seek help for the person.
Okay.
Right? I don't want us to go around putting tag on it, because once you tell someone that, hey, Solo, it seems like you're having psychosis today, immediately you put up a barrier, right? So I don't want us to go on that tangent. But if you realize that Solomon is not having a good day or is speaking out of things that really do not conform to the norm, be concerned and then be willing to seek help for that individual.
Okay. So with the stages that you said, I can say that those stages are the symptoms when somebody is confused in thinking, as you said. It is a clear indication that that person needs help. We wouldn't tag the person as or a psychotic or something, but that person might need help, because it's a sudden change. It's a sudden change. That person wasn't like that, but it's a sudden change. And also, can I ask, do they hallucinate, those with psychosis?
Yes, most of them do. And as I mentioned earlier, some of the things that they go through includes hallucinations. And when we talk about hallucinations, there are a couple of forms of hallucinations. So we could have auditory hallucination, hearing, auditory, right? We could have visual hallucination, seeing. We could have tactile hallucination, feeling something, right, on your skin or something like that. So let's stick with these three simple ones.
Okay.
So as part of the psychosis, somebody could be hearing voices. Therefore, hear voices telling me that pastor is going to poison my food. Voices telling me that, I'm not worth it, I should kill myself.
Okay.
Voices telling me that the world is coming to an end. So that is the auditory hallucinations.
Okay.
The other one is the visual hallucinations.
Seeing.
I see things on the wall, right? Or I see the wall falling down, I see whatever it is. So that is the visual hallucinations. The tactile hallucinations, sometimes people feel like there are bugs crawling on them as entetia, right? So that is a tactile hallucination. Sometimes they feel like their skin is coming apart. Do not confuse this with OCD, but sometimes they feel like there are germs all over them. Therefore, they want to scrub it off, right? So all of that can happen. And that is we are sticking with these three simple hallucinations for today. So the auditory hallucinations, the visual hallucinations, and then the tactile hallucination.
Viewers, we are discussing what we call psychosis, and it's a mental illness. In case you just joined us, that's the discussion that we're having now. Senior Ofori to me is talking about I asked question about whether they hallucinate, and he has given us the three various hallucinations: the tactile, the visual, and the hearing. Sometimes in your church, sometimes at home, sometimes where you are, somebody will just try to tell you that he's seen things that you wouldn't understand him well. You wouldn't, but this is what the person keeps on saying. I see this, I see that, and I see it coming. I can see huge something. I can hear voices telling me. But he made mention of something I want us to take emphasis on, with the hearing of killing myself. Mostly people that want to commit suicide or have had suicidal ideation, they will tell you that they hear voices. So when they hear voices, then these voices is telling them to end their life. Recently, I had an experience with one, and the person saw somebody. She says she saw somebody. The person was directing the person to go do something, and also hear the person telling her, "No one will help you, so end your life." Senior, in as much as you are telling us about hallucination, before we go, I ask another question. With this hallucination thing, how serious it is when somebody when somebody hallucinate, how should we take, how serious should we take the issue, hallucination, senior? Before I ask another question, please.
Right, it should be taken very seriously. And before I even go into the suicidal part, let me throw this in here, and not to sound controversial, but then, you know, when, especially in the Pentecostal churches, when people be like, "Oh, I hear that, you know, so we should do," or "I see the Holy Spirit," and all of that. Sometimes they say we got to be careful, man, because sometimes this person may be having auditory hallucinations or visual hallucinations, right? You may never know. So I always say, things of the spirit, let's leave it to the spirit. I'm not a spiritual, but at least I do know that sometimes psychosis can lead people to do some of these things, especially some of these prophecies that have been coming out. But there's also something we call religious grandiosity, right? And religious grandiosity. And sometimes when they have this religious grandiosity, they talk so much about religion and things affiliated with religion and all of that, right? So sometimes we might want to be careful with some of the prophecies that comes around, but I'll leave it to that and then move on to the suicidal ideation. So you asked the question, how serious is it? It is very serious. Please, if anyone is to make a statement that I feel like committing or taking my life, or I feel like, you know, ending my life, please do not take it lightly. If even they always play with it, you do not know the day that you really act on it. So do not take it lightly. That is one. And it's getting really more common now. So please be very mindful of it. Then the other thing is people with psychosis, since that is what we're talking about today, because why people tend to have the ideation and act on it, there are too many reasons. But since we're talking about psychosis today, people with psychosis are most likely to be successful in ending their life. I hope that matters. They are most likely to be successful in ending their life if they are to attempt at doing it. And the reasons are this. One, it is the command hallucinations that they have. So you realize the adjective I used, command. Command,
okay.
So the voice is telling them and is persistent and insistent that for that reason, if they are to act on it, they are going to use the most lethal way in doing it. Okay? So if you look at the cases of suicide, people with psychosis are higher in success rate, right? I mean, being able to complete the act. People with psychosis are much higher in doing it. Okay? So the command hallucination makes it very lethal if you are to do it.
Okay.
If someone is to tell you that they feel suicidal, it doesn't matter whether they're having psychosis or not psychosis. Please, we have to pay attention to them. We have to offer them help as soon as we can or as much as we can. We have to remove anything that they can use from their environment, take them to a safe place, provide all the necessary precautions that you can for them.
Viewers, you see, it is. I was tempted to ask you that was Judas was Judas under psychosis when he heard the voices to go and end his life because he has betrayed the Savior. But whatever being the case, you heard him saying that majority of people with suicide, at the end of the day, it is they mostly are out of psychosis, and it is serious. So when people are around us and telling us that they hear voices that I should do this, I should do that, we need not to ignore them, but rather we need to pay attention and probably seek help for them so that at least they will be able to save. We can be able to save them as well. Senior, these are some of the warning signs we've learned about it, but are there causes of psychosis? I know it's a mental illness, but are there anything that causes psychosis?
Yes, there are a couple of things that can cause psychosis. So I always, this is my cultivate when it comes to mental health, right?
Okay. Oh, okay.
There are two things when it comes to mental health. One is genetics, and then the other one is environmental, right? So if my parents has mental health condition, including schizophrenia, psychosis, all of that, it's very likely that I will also have. For that reason, then that will be the cause for why I have psychosis. The other thing is environmental. So the stresses that I may be going through that may make I have it, that is also possible. It could also be substance induced.
Okay.
So you do your trauma, and then all of a sudden you think you're on top of the world, you are swimming in the garden thinking you are at the beach, right? So it could be substance induced. It could be from marijuana, it could be from so many drugs, right? Can induce it. When I talk about substance induced, I'm not only referring to the illicit drugs, which is the illegal or the hard drugs. I mentioned earlier, it could be from maybe you go to the hospital, you are given Ultram or you are given oxycodone because you have some pain, right? That oxycodone can induce psychosis. So those ones we call substance-induced psychosis. Once we realize it's induced by the substance and we remove the substance, you stop taking it, we give it some time, it flashes out of your system, most likely psychosis will go away, right? But in some cases also, they tend to have it longer, right? So we all vary in our treatment and in how we respond to things. So that is the genetics. Then the substance-induced stresses can also cause it. And then let me also say, quick one. This is something that also interests me so much. Do you know that schizophrenia, which as part of its symptoms include psychosis, right? It's more common, or its onset is very common in male between the ages of 18 to 25. In female between the ages of 25 to 35. So, Pastor, let me ask you a question.
Ask me, Senior.
Stage is this age group?
They are the young adult. The young adult. They are the young adult, the teenager, the young adult.
Yes, the young adult and the very prime of their age, right?
Exactly.
Okay, so example, let me say that I turned 19, I have my first psychotic break, right? And I was about to finish SS or I just entered university. Typically what you hear is, oh, he's the first person to go to the university in his family and his family did good things, therefore they gave him the disease. Right? So this is not something that somebody gave him. This is not something that, the family bought for him. If they're that rich, they should use it to build a mansion in their village. But in most cases, unfortunately, we associate psychotic symptoms, mental health issues with spirituality. So at any given opportunity, I like to differentiate these two.
Exactly.
And please, I throw in some humor. I'm not trying to make fun of the condition, not at all. But it's serious that if you speak with the level of seriousness that it comes with, you put so much tension in the discussion.
Exactly. We get you.
Get the message. That is why sometimes I want to lighten it up a little bit so that we can really follow and still enjoy a mental health discussion without being so tensed. All right. So please.
No, you go ahead, Senior. Go ahead.
Yeah, it is not that the family bought it for the fresh graduates in the family, all of that. No, it's not. And in the same vein, also, if the early is to have any of these symptoms, please, it could be as simple as UTI. That is the best and easy to fix one that typically we don't solve and it goes on. It could also be from dementia, which is also another neurological condition. But for the purposes of today, I'm not going to go into that.
Exactly. So you made mention of something that has also brought my attention on something with what the humor, but we're going to still emphasize on that to make a good point. Now the guy is brilliant. He got all A's in WASI. Then he's the only person in the family that has been able to get all these grades, and by the grace of God, when your scholarship, palm into university. Then first year, then sickness, certain things balls in. All thing that you hear is that they are general. With and they can prove they can prove that it is so. That is why, senior, that is why the program is here to educate people on certain things. It might be a condition, it might be a mental health condition that should, because when you started with the definition, you said people with this are branded as witches because there are a lot of things. Somebody just asked a question on WhatsApp, and I'll let you say it again. He asked that, what is psychosis? What is psychosis? In a common way, what is psychosis? But I'll let you answer that question first. But with what you are saying, spirituality and mental illness. A lot of people, you hear people are saying they were taken up into the sky, heaven, they saw this, they saw that, they this and that. Fine, me, God in the scriptures, he said we have spiritual gifts. The gift of vision and prophecy or whatever is there. But at a point in time, when somebody starts saying this, the normal Christian can say that, what this person is saying, then I think at that particular point in time, that person who is saying those things, or who is being who is seeing those visions, should be helped. Probably if that thing is a good vision, at the end of the day, still you need people to help to understand, because in the scriptures, when the prophet they had vision, they said, "Thou said the Lord," and God says we should do this. If you don't do this, this will happen. So we know that, okay, if that thing happened, it means that you are so ordained and that thing happened. But in as much as psychosis is something that we need to think about, then viewers, we need to understand this thing and take it seriously. That we should start seeing certain things differently. We need not to ignore certain things. For instance, with the hallucination and delusion, we need not to ignore them. With the voices, people seeing and people hearing and people feeling that snakes are walking around them and they can't sleep. And when you pray on them they fall down. I don't know how. When you pray on them, they also fall down. And they will start saying things that the manifestation will happen. Then you ask yourself, is this spiritual or a psychosis or mental illness? That one, we leave it, as you say, we'll leave it to them. But in a common way, somebody wants to know what is psychosis.
So once again, for our brother or sister asking that question, so psychosis is when there is a change in their mental status,
okay,
which leads to them having either a fixed false belief, a fear of, or confusion, where whatever they are talking about is incongruent or inconsistent with the environment in which they are in.
Okay.
That is the simplest way I think I can explain. Okay. If not, I would say it is when they have an altered mental status where there are hallucinations, there are delusions, paranoia, or delirium.
So at the end of the day, these people, what we see as red, they might see it as black, because they have an altered mindset, or they are drifted from reality. What is real, what we see, we think it is the norm. Everybody, 9 out of 10 are saying it is A. These people, this person wouldn't see it as A, because they have an altered thing in their mind. Please, the one who asks the question, we want to bring it down for him to understand, or her to understand. That is why they see things that we can't see them. They have different eyes. They have different ears. We can't see them. We can't hear them. Somebody, Mommy's Boy Focus says, God bless you, Pastor, for the program. Mommy's Boy, God also bless you for the comment. And Nana Abna, nice topic. God bless you. God bless you, Nana Abna, for that. Well, these are from Facebook. So, and Senior, to me, how is the environment a factor or a cause? How is the environment a factor or a cause to psychosis? Environment.
So, environmental causes or reason, you know, it is interesting to note that it is more in men than in women. Let me throw out some statistics, some interesting statistics just out there, right? For those who are interested in that. It is more than in women. Also, it is between 2 to 4% of the population when they first asked about the rate.
The rate, yeah, how common. Yeah.
So that is why I said I wanted to keep it so simple, and that is why I didn't want to go so technical. But now that we have the basis, we can some of these things for those who are interested, right? So environment, sometimes, right, the stresses in the environment can cause that. That is one. 2, our behavior, as I talked about, substance-induced one. It is an environmental factor. It is an environmental cause, right? Also, as we grow, conditions, diseases, and all of that, those are some of the environmental. But genetically, that is there. Okay.
So we understood the genetical aspect of it. So now we know the causes of what psychosis are. How serious are their effect? What is the effect of psychosis? How serious is psychosis?
So have you seen the video on social media where someone was looking into a container and he was counting?
The one he jumped into, he jumped into the thing like he was swimming. A small container.
No, that is different.
Okay.
That is right. So this one he was counting, and then somebody came to look at what he's counting, and then he stopped him, and then added another number. So he was doing 31, 31, 31. So this guy came closer to see what he was counting, and then he slapped him. Then he went to 32, right? So you asking how dangerous it is. The danger of it could be, one, they can cause harm to others or themselves.
Okay.
So for that reason, anytime somebody is having psychosis, you want to be sure that they are so you want to be sure that they are safe to themselves and to somebody else also, right? So that is one danger. The other thing is, as part of them not being safe, it's an example you gave, the one that he just jumped into either or something like that kind of, right? So at that point, they can engage in some dangerous behaviors, and it's not intentional, right? Intentional of theirs. It could be, once again, the command hallucinations that they have. If I'm having that hallucination that pastor is the pastor, let me use it as an example.
I beg, use me, senior.
Right, if I'm having a hallucination that pastor is the Antichrist and then he's going to bring this world to an end, and the voices are telling me that I have to take pastor out, right? I have to kill pastor for God to be saved, then it's easier for me to act on it to take pastor out so that I can save the world, right? So if somebody is having this psychosis, these are some of the things that could be going on in their mind. Hence, it's very important that we assess to see if they are hearing voices, seeing things, and what they are hearing or seeing. And then we'll be able to of social media and the buzz that we get from sharing stuff, right? If somebody is to have an issue, you find people recording and then sharing and resharing and posting it. If you're doing it either for the entertainment part or for whatever reason, my advice is, please, let us be careful, let us be mindful. Example, let's say pastor have a psychotic break. Then he starts acting out of the norm. We start recording and start sharing. When pastor is to recover from that and note that this is what happened.
When I was okay.
When he was not okay. What is that going to do to him? Is that going to help with his recovery? Then really pushing him to over the edge to end his life, because as the accounts say, exactly. So for pastor to live with this shame, then he better off dead.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
So
exactly.
please, for those of us that just push forward or, like or just share, let us be mindful of what we're sharing because it may come back to hurt the individual that is involved, right? So please, let's be mindful of that. Those are part of the dangers of psychosis.
All right. So you have two questions that viewers are asking. That can alcohol cause psychosis?
Yeah, so we have something we call alcohol-induced delirium, right? So alcohol, yes, especially during the detox phase. And then detoxing from alcohol is not fun. So please, that is not the topic for today. But to answer your question, yes, alcohol can cause psychosis.
All right. Another question is
that fall under the substance-induced psychosis.
Another question is that do people who experience psychosis aware of their condition? And perhaps if
no, they are that reality, so they are not.
They are not okay. And perhaps if they are not aware, are they able to remember what they went through after the condition has been managed?
In most cases, not.
Okay. I think
that is why I was stressing on the earlier part, right? So pastor has a psychotic break. He doesn't know what is going on. He acts out of the norm. This thing gets hit on social media and everything. He recovers. He didn't know what happened, so someone is trying to tell him what happened whilst he was in the studio. Then he feels sorry about what happened because that is not his character. Later to find out this thing was all over the place. Right? So please, let's be mindful.
All right. Then what you just said, it's making me think a lot, because currently there are a lot of videos on social media circulating about people's condition and stuff like that. Ideally, if I should even send a video out of myself, or probably on my phone, I'm doing, when I get that I'm under psychosis, I video myself. I don't know the bloggers who, I don't know how they're able to get hold of the video and whatever. But for instance, if I should even share on my status, for us to help them, it will be ideal to block the video or take it away for people not to even have a feel of the video. For instance, what you said, that if I'm conditionally, I'm doing certain things unreasonably, and I was videoing myself, I don't know, I sent it to my WhatsApp status, somebody downloaded it, then I start sharing it. By the time I get okay to see my videos have gone viral and views 1 million massa, definitely the person who's not going to sit down, it is easier for the person to end the life than as you're saying. So I think that it is part of the how we're going to help these people out. And please, is psychosis treatable? Then it even gives us the next question, that how do we help them? How can we diagnose psychosis, and how best can we treat psychosis? Thank you so much, sir.
All right. So once again, please, this is not one that we diagnose at home.
Diagnose it, exactly.
So professionals do the diagnosis. So the thing that you have to do is to recognize that there's a problem, and then help them with help, right? Or take them for help. So once we recognize that there's a problem, we have to secure their environment. So they are in environments which is very contemporary, where everybody's taking a video. Please, let's stop that. Take those crowd away, right? Then remove the person from the environment to a secure place. So that's step one. Two, if it's a kind of psychosis where it's not so serious, where we can help reorient at that point, let's do so.
Okay.
But it's a psychosis where it is not manageable by our immediate environment, then we have to take them to a hospital to seek help.
Okay.
It is of no shame, please, it is of no shame to take someone to a psychiatric hospital.
Exactly.
It is just, you find me collapsed by the roadside, maybe I'm diabetic, my sugar went low, and then you take me to the hospital. It is just the same thing, right?
The same.
So please, the same approach that we have for medical conditions, let's use those also for psychotic conditions. Hence, somebody is to have a psychotic break, it is no shame, not at all. Let's take the person to a psychiatric hospital and then let the person receive treatment. Okay. Nowadays, in Ghana, most of the district hospitals do have psych units in there.
Exactly.
And as reason why they did that is to reduce the stigma associated with someone going to a psych hospital. So you don't have to take them to Ankafo, Pantai, or Accra Psychiatric Hospital. If you take them to any of these district hospitals, they do have a psychiatrist in there or a psych unit in there where they can attend to the individual.
Okay.
Yes, treatable.
All right.
There are medications that can be used.
All right. Is there any triggers? If somebody probably has been diagnosed and had been treated of psychosis, they call something the psychopath or periods or something. I've forgotten the term they give. Can somebody?
So they can go into relapse. Right?
Okay. So there are triggers.
So they can have a relapse, and the relapse is a period where they don't have the symptoms.
Okay.
And yet there could be triggers.
Okay.
Right. So some people, if they had a very bad relationship, and then it had them to have the psychosis, right? That situation, that environment can trigger them again. Okay. Now, if they also go into another relationship and then similar things from the past starts to unfold, it could be a trigger. Okay. The other trigger could also be, once again, relapsing on the substance that you use. So when we don't have the symptoms, that is remission. Sorry, it's not. That is remission. So remission is the period where we don't have the symptoms. Relapse is when it comes back.
You come back to you relapse. Okay. All right. So if there's no question, so then how best you spoke about it's no shame. It's no shame. I want you to, especially with that stigma, when somebody is behaving weird and that person recovers. How do we then help those people aside referring them to the appropriate quarters, psychiatric hospital or the district hospitals or probably medication, whatever. Aside that, if that person recovers or if that person overcomes that condition, how should we behave towards those people as a church, as a family, in a community? How should we respond to these people?
I would say business as usual. So the way you knew me, the way you talked to me, the way you related to me, please, let's continue as such, right? If you start withdrawing, then it makes me feel bad, okay? So it should be business as usual. Please, this is also not a communicable disease, right? So if I have psychosis, please do not withdraw from me because of the fear of also contracting it. This is not a communicable disease. As church, as society, sometimes what you tend to hear or see is that I make a statement following the episode I had, and then people be like, "Oh, Jana said,
ow.
That hurts. Must say, "Yow, that hurts." Right? So we have to be very mindful of our utterances, the things that we say to people and against people, because it does hurt. And physical pain is not as painful as emotional pain. Right? So please, let's be mindful of that.
Senior Operator, God bless you for your time. Physical pain is not painful as emotional pain. Physical pains are seen. We can see them, we can see those things, but with emotions, it is within, and no one have a spectacle to see whether you're going through, unless there are signs of what you are doing which is not right. And as Senior said, it is beautiful when we don't talk to them anyhow or brand them as it is a word that if I should hear it again, I may just be frustrated and lose hope again, because after all they know that I'm about them, then let me continue like that. But in as much as people go through that situation, it is our duty as family members, it's our duty as God's children to help those who are weak, because in as much as they are sick mentally, you might not be sick and mentally sick, but you might also have something that somebody needs to help you out of it. And we need to treat ourselves the same way I would treat somebody who is in pain. And with the mental issues, they will tell you that just as malaria, you go to the pharmacy to test or go to the hospital to do the BF to know that you have malaria plus, the same way when somebody is behaving weirdly, that person should be taken to the hospital for that person to be checked. Today, as I said, thank you so much for those who are watching. And Slick Afraid, God bless you for your fabric. Alpha Art, God bless you for the flyers that you do. As I said, if you really want to help this program, Wounds of the Heart, the number to call is 0559 535554, 0559 5554, and we will talk things up with you and see how best you could also help and even sponsor this program. Senior Philip Ofori, and to me, God bless you for your time this evening. I know that I'll come your way again with another beautiful topic. Before I go, somebody says that I think in our churches we can mandate the counseling department to help identify and manage such cases. I think that if churches we have counselors, we mandate them to just wear their counseling spectacles or psychiatric spectacles. When somebody is behaving some way, hey, as soon as they come, then we talk things over, and we also teach more, create this awareness in the local church. And God bless you for your time when you came to Accra, although you didn't tell me when you came to Accra and you taught in Fairmont. God bless you for that, because the churches, in as much as we are preaching Christ is coming, so we should have a mental health week, and we have programs on mental health to sensitize people and conscientize us about how dangerous mental illness are. Viewers, God bless you for your time. Senior for Agent, God bless you for your discussion. I'll come again. I hope and pray next week, Wednesday, you will be tight, so that I'll give you another beautiful topic for us to treat. Regards to the family back there, God bless you. And I've been your regular host, and the name is Pastor Daniel Abedu Bidiaba. I'm out.
Hope Channel, changing lives.
Hello and welcome. Today we will be looking at how to get to know God.
Bow our heads. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for your creation, and thank you for the lessons that you show us through nature. Jesus, you have made everything with your own hands. From the stars in the mountains all the way down to the tiny little hummingbird. We can see your perfect design. And God, you care for everything and sustain everything that you have created. Thank you for the promise that although you are the God of the whole universe, that at the same time you care for the wants of the little brown sparrow. And that no matter who I am or what I've done, that you're watching over me. Thank you for this eternal love. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
The Bible says in John 17:3 that this is eternal life, that they might know thee, the only true God, and Jesus Christ whom thou hast sent. But you might be asking, how do I get to know a God that I can't see? The simple, quick answer is that we get to know God through studying what he has created and through reading the Bible. So it's true. We can't see God face to face, at least not right now. But we can get to know him through his written word and his created works. In fact, by looking at nature through the right glasses, we can get a pretty good idea of what God is like. The Bible often uses illustrations from nature to help us understand God. For example, the universe is a pretty big place, and God runs it all. But at the same time,